Traders. Everybody's having a wonderful day. What do we got going on in Bitcoin? Typical Bitcoin. Wowzer, huh? Little sell-off going on right now. Little unexpected in my opinion, but hey, it is what it is. That's why we trade volatility, probability, and statistics. It's all we can do in this crazy world of magic internet money, right? I mean, you got Bitcoin here, prints a bullish engulfing candle on the weekly, which, I'm going to be the first to say, usually when something like that happens, you get a little bit of a pullback, just like last time. We got a little drop down below the 68.3 Laplace distribution range on the weekly. Then we continued up over the top side of the first standard deviation distribution, actually closed above there and had some continuation the week after and the week after that to an all-time high of about 67, right? Had a little pullback, then the all-time high almost at 70K. So what is going on? Is this a fake out? That's what everybody wants to know, right? Well, first thing, what did we do? What happened on the weekly, on the literal first day of the week, right? We had a pullback to the first standard deviation, normal distribution to the downside. It was at $37,358. On spot, we went down to, $47,359. We went down to $47,307. Went by a little bit, right? Now we had a little bit of bounce from there. Is Bitcoin going to bounce off this weekly first standard deviation? Also, it's right at the mean of the projection starting last week. All right, I've started a new projection here. Now, this isn't solid yet. This has got to become a bullish weekly candle for me to continue the projection from last week, or I'm going to move it right back to this pivot in price right here after the all-time high at almost 70K. So this is going to get real interesting. It's already getting real spicy, scaring a lot of people. I'm sure that's what Bitcoin does, right? This is what Bitcoin does. Bitcoin scares the shit out of people. Now, obviously, right, you had everybody talking about this bullish engulfing candle on the weekly. Okay, it's time now. Bitcoin's going to make its run to 100K. Look, you got to be careful in this market, right? Now, the first thing you got to do is don't get over leveraged, right? Limit your losses, take your profits. A lot of people out there trade differently, right? You've got low time time frame scalpers, you got swing traders, you got high time frame traders, just like to get in positions and just sit in them, right? No leverage. Hey, if that's the way you want to trade, there's nothing wrong with that. But at some point you got to take your profit, right? Now this move that we just had, this probably wrecked a lot of people. A lot of people got over leveraged, right? They're out there, they're watching YouTube Jimmy saying, hey, we got this bullish engulfing. I was even talking about it yesterday, but I'm always talking about both sides, but all the probabilities. Was this probable? Yes. Just like in life, everything Bitcoin does is probabilities, right? So we're looking for trend on the 4-hour chart. Did Bitcoin go into trend to the downside? It sure did. Starting to pull back out of it. We'll go to that chart in a minute, but as of right now, this is, are we making our way down to the bottom of the 68.3? That's a little under 46K, right? That's a little under 46K. To be honest, to me, it really looked like we had found a bottom here. It still could be that way. This is all going to depend on what's going to happen when we're going to come into this new day here in about 2 hours. It's all going to depend on what happens there. So everybody just pay attention. Pay attention to the charts, right? We're literally right now we are above that first standard deviation on the weekly. Is that a powerful level? Yeah. All these standard deviation levels are, especially on a weekly. So if we were to break that area, 47,359, right? Where's this thing going? It could bounce at the 68.3 here. I mean, we're talking about that's going to be a whole weekly candle backfill. I'll tell you what, if that happens, if we get a weekly backfill down to around the 46K area, it's a little bit above that. It's about 46.5 to be honest. If we do get that backfill, that's going to scare the crap out of people. And what would be even bigger if it's a fake out, and then we leave a big bullish wick and this thing pumps up to the first standard deviation normal distribution to the top side at 55, right? Now, and I was talking to some people behind the scenes. We could have possibly saw this pullback coming, but I truly thought Bitcoin was going to go to about the 53 to 55K area first, if it really was going to do that, right? We got some big players here, and they are messing with people big time. That's why we trade volatility. That's why we trade volatility. We don't trade the candle patterns. Volatility creates the candle patterns. And if we go over here onto the volatility chart, right up here, right? Boom. Let's check this out here. We had some contraction there, positively correlated, right when we were back up at the top at about 52 after that run. And this is on a 90-minute chart, right? We started contracting right here from 100% volatility expansion, positively correlated. Look how the volatility literally dropped off a cliff. I'm talking about it went from 100% all the way down to about 15%. Immediately had big expansion right there, negatively correlated. Price action just starts tumbling down. Right when we peaked up, it had a little contraction, positively correlated again. Volatility fell off a cliff again, expansion again, negatively correlated. Now, I mean, this is the same damn thing going on. We're positively correlated, having a little contraction here. Now, this is a 90-minute, and look how the 90-minute right at the top, we start to get the correlation to the downside, and we started trending, right? All this was all random. All this price action right here was random. This was the trend. The trend was to the downside. The Shannon entropy even caught everything perfectly. We had Shannon entropy peak out right here to start the move, negatively correlated. As soon as that entropy started contracting again, positive correlation, price action started walking down, expansion again, negatively correlated. You can see the same. It's like a wash, rinse, repeat. Same thing's happening on volatility and entropy. Okay, this is why we're really starting to like this Shannon entropy percentile. Shout out to Van F. Gonna have this thing published here pretty soon too. Trying to get a description made up for it. Yeah. Let's see here. So what's going on Bitcoin, for crying out loud, right? Gets everybody all hot and bothered, and then just has a nice pullback. Let's see what that pullback actually has been. I am on a 90-minute here. Let's see what percentage of a pullback this is. Really, not a lot of people are expecting this. I mean, almost a 10% move, guys. Almost a 10% move. So here late in the day, right before traditional markets close, SPY didn't really have a bad day. After that pump yesterday, we were damn sure going to see a little layoff probably, and we did. Right down 0.08%. That's nothing. NASDAQ right now, futures down 48.25. Not percent, dollars. So this is going to get interesting. See how this plays out. I did notice on the 4-hour trying to print some bull div between returns and price action. Trying, right? It's actually the return oscillator did set, okay? But the problem we're having here is if this is not bust above the zero mean and turns down, that bull div where we had this little bit of a 4-hour push, this last candle, when it got back up to almost 48, it's just printing hidden bear divergence. It's going to take a strong move. but there are some things going for price turning around and going back up to the upside. I'll show you. Pull this back. Number one, the correlation is flashing right now. So what's going to happen with this trending entropy, right? Are we going to turn around and start heading back up, trend to the top side now? Or are we going to get another bubble of red, right? We're going to get more correlation to the downside. The historical volatility z-score. I mean, we're talking about at one point, it was literally 4 standard deviations below the mean, right? Same thing over here on the z-score. It was about 4 standard deviations below the mean. We've got the Fisher really low again. Now, this is a 4-hour chart. Look at the deviation log pro. This thing's so far out of whack, it's unbelievable. I mean, almost every indicator we have went 4 standard deviations. When you usually go that low, there's major exhaustion going on. Even on the 4-hour, we've got these 2 of the APPs are pretty much bottomed out, right? Getting real close anyway. But I'm going to say it again. Really didn't see this coming. Really didn't see this coming. This is typical Bitcoin. This is typical Bitcoin. This is what Bitcoin does. It just shakes people, knocks their teeth out, man. It's incredible. Now, so let me pull up. Let's see if there's any long liquidation. So let's do that real quick. Let's go some long liquidations. Where are we? No, get the hell off of here. Okay. Oh, I'm signed up, you dirty dog. It's a pain in the ass. Okay. What a great website too. This thing's powerful. Got a lot of nice little global metrics there. Let's see. Where are we? Favorites. What's happening here? Okay. There we go. That's why they're not populating yet. Come on, baby. Let's roll here. Yeah, obviously, there's not going to be any short liquidations now, is there? The funding rate's starting to rise. Let's see. Do we have some long liquidations? We did. Zero. Zero on this little pullback, right? It was a 10% pullback. You know, people in this market are getting a little smarter too. You know, I don't think there's as many degens. You just get wrecked, man. You cannot get over leveraged in this market. You just can't do it. You're going to lose a lot of money. You're going to lose a lot of money. People are definitely getting smarter. So that's good to see that there was not any long liquidations on this move down. Really like to see that. Uh, let's see. Outflow inflow. A little more BTC coming into the exchanges right now. Not a lot. Not a lot. Like 3,000. That's not bad. Long-term holders still holding strong. They're not selling. I'll tell you what, we had a little bit of a minor sell-off. We did have a little bit of a minor sell-off, which kind of makes sense, right? We're coming into the end of the year. Maybe miners are selling off a little bit to pay some taxes. Which really doesn't make sense to me. You think you'd wait till the new year because whatever you're selling off right now, you're going to have to pay taxes on that as well. Might as well kick that can down the road, right? Till next year. But all good. But it is the end of the month too. Maybe miners have got some, they go, hey man, those electric bills aren't any joke. These big farms, holy shit, man. I don't even want to see their electric bills. Trust me. I mean, those mining rigs are anywhere from they're probably like 1,200 watts a piece or something. It's literally like I'm out here in medical marijuana land, right? And had definitely a nice little operation legal growing medical marijuana. Those, I'll tell you what, man, every light costs you about $50 a month. It's incredible. These guys got hundreds of rigs. Do the math. Their electric bills aren't any joke. Aren't any joke at all. Let's see here. Yeah, nothing else to look on there. Wanted to see about the liquidations. Okay. So Bitcoin, what you gonna do? Like I said on the 4-hour, everything's pretty deep. Everything's really deep on Bitcoin. It looks like the correlation of the Shannon entropy is starting to slope back down, negatively correlated. If this Shannon entropy coming into the new 4-hour candle, if it continues to build, not good for Bitcoin. One thing we got going for us, it already did hit that first standard deviation on the weekly. I mean, it's almost there again. Let's be honest, right? It's almost there again. We're literally $100 away from it. 348, right? We're at 460 right now. So I'm gonna have to see how this plays out, man. I have to see how this plays out. It's definitely ugly. I mean, look at this VRE on the daily. I mean, literally almost did a second standard deviation move on the daily, right? Let me make sure, is that correct? We do more. There's a 68.3. No, 2SD, and they were pretty spread out, man, to be honest. Wow. 4. Let's see. Yeah, 5. That is the 2SD. Usually you'll find this 95.4 Laplace. And the fact that we dropped down to almost the 2SD normal distribution, came up and rejected off the 95.4, Bitcoin's like, no, I'm going to take my 4.6% chance of closing outside this range, and I'm going to shove it up all the bulls' butts. This thing's still got about an hour and 45 minutes. There's a 95.4% chance Bitcoin closes above this white cross line right here. That's at 48K. Been having some trouble, right? We tried to get back above it here. Rejection. So we've had 2 rejections here coming in late on the day. For the health of this market, Bitcoin needs to get back in this 95.4 range. I mean, we could get some continuation on this daily. It's not going to be pretty. Bad thing is, here's the new weekly range as well, right? There's the top side, there's the middle, there's the bottom side. We dropped below, rejected right off of it to the dollar. Right here, when I saw this wick come down and pull up hard, I was like, okay, the bulls are defending the bottom side of this weekly range. The bears are like, screw your support there, bulls. We're just going to run this thing down. But let's be fair about this. I mean, since the all-time high, there's been a lot of selling. There's been a ton of selling. There is still seller exhaustion. Guarantee it. At some point, this thing is going to turn around. This would be a great fake out right here to run this thing up to 52, drop it back down to almost 47, and then run it up. I mean, you're just knocking people out with these moves. So pretty powerful today on Bitcoin. Pretty powerful. If you got into a short, hey, hopefully you took your profits. You take your profit here at the first standard deviation. If you get in another short, you take your profit at the 95.4 Laplace. We dipped a little bit below, right? We almost got to the second standard deviation. This is usually, you're going to see these ranges pretty close together. The 95.4 Laplace and the second standard deviation normal distribution, which as well is a 95.4% level. They're usually pretty tight. It's the first standard deviation normal distribution and the 68.3 Laplace that are really different, and the third standard deviation normal distribution and the 99.7% Laplace distribution range. They're all the same percentages, but we're dealing with different distribution models. We've posted pictures before of what that Laplace distribution looks like, and it's a no-brainer, right? It's a no-brainer. You're going to have a much larger fat tail at the third standard deviation, and you're going to have a way tighter 68.3% range. So a lot fatter tail at the 99.7 Laplace than you have in normal distribution. That's just how those two distribution models work. Let's see. But the fact we've dumped out, usually we're going to hit these levels. You're going to see a bunch of buys come in. We have not seen that yet. This thing is up in the air, man. This thing is up in the air. But like I said again, there's a 95.4% chance BTC closes above this white cross line, just a tick above 48K. Can Bitcoin get back up above this, right? But then you're dealing with this weekly range again. For God's sakes, if the bulls, you're not liking this. You wanted to see a bounce at the top side here, right? That's when we opened up this new day. Look, don't forget too, we ran away from the daily range. We never even tried to go test it. I've talked about this before. When you open up price action and it never even makes a legitimate attempt to go test it, we had this one little 15-minute candle that rejected on this monthly S1. That's not a legitimate test of that, right? There literally has not been a legitimate test of the bottom side of this daily range at about almost 51K. I mean, we're down here at 47.6 right now. So if you're a bear right now, be careful, man. We're coming into the end of the day. Number one, you're going to have a new daily volatility range right around in here, right? I'll tell you what right now is what we really don't want to see. We don't want to see this new daily range below the bottom of this weekly range. We want to see it up in here, which from what I'm seeing, the top side of the new daily range is probably going to be right up in here somewhere. Probably a tick under 49. It's going to be a big range, though. We could see probably a $500 daily range, maybe a little more. All right, we could see maybe, I'm going to go out on the limb. I'm going to say the top side about 48,750, maybe the bottom side about 48,250, right about here. Right. This is what I'm looking for in the new daily range, just from looking at this price action for what I'm seeing here. And after you do this for a while, you'll start to figure out how to do this. But number one, I'm looking at this wick right here. I'm looking at this wick right here, right? I mean, there's a lot of volatility, especially if we get a late day pump here and you see Bitcoin like reject from this area right in here, that's going to pretty much signal to me that that is going to be the bottom of the new daily volatility range, to be honest. So go Bitcoin. Let's cheerlead this thing to the top. All right. As volatility traders, we really don't care. As a long-term holder, I always care. I want this thing going to wherever. The moon, man. Let's go to the moon. As the kids would say, let's go to the moon. But yeah, Bitcoin now, once again, I mean, we got up there. The bears reared their ugly head. Rejection right about 52K. Didn't see it coming. A lot of people did. I guarantee you, YouTube Jimmy, it's out there screaming, bullish engulfing weekly. We're turning this thing around. 100K, definitely happening. What are they saying today? They're eating crow, man. I'll be the first one. As soon as I started the stream, I'm the first one to come out and say, hey, man, it's all probabilities. This had a probability to go to the downside, and it did, right? And all we can do is look on entropy to see if that move is trending. On the 4-hour, definitely was trending, right? Definitely trending entropy, right? You can see, but just these last 3-4 hour candles, it was random until then. And then we lost that correlation to the downside. I mean, to be honest, from what I'm seeing on these indicators, how literally every volatility metric we have, log returns, everything, where we're talking 4 standard deviations below the mean on Z-score, on historical volatility Z-score, deviation log pro, right? Log returns weighted with deviation, 4 standard deviations almost, 3 and literally almost 4, all outliers on the deviation log pro. And usually when you get a 4 standard deviation move, you're looking at a turnaround usually. That's how this indicator usually works. But I'm telling you, don't try to use that on low time frames. Be real careful playing that philosophy. 4-hour and above is usually good, though. You start getting outside of these confidence intervals, you can usually look for a turnaround. But That being said, you might need to set in some bold div on that DLP, right? Which we did with this candle. We're setting it up right now. So do we get some more lower lows in the first 2 4-hour candles coming into the new day? Maybe take it down to 47, right? Maybe take it down to 47, get 2 more candles, create some more bold div, and then rock. And then I don't even know if we're going to rocket ship out of here. It'd be nice, but I just have not seen the buying coming in, which is a little, to tell you the truth, to get as close as that 2 SD on the daily and we didn't get a really nice bounce. It's like, wow, man, there's a lot of sell pressure going on right now. So it's a waiting game at this point. All right, is what you want to do. You want to be trading this low time frame volatility, right? If we jump up here on the 12-hour, you can see on these variance log MAs, right, where we actually, let me make sure, when yes, the 99, we rejected off, man, these are all, yeah, we rejected to the dollar off the 99 length. I believe that's what it is. Give me 1 second. Or is that the 54? Yeah, that's a 54. The 99 and 144 are right on top of each other. So yeah, we rejected perfectly off the 99 length variance log MA on the 12-hour. On the daily, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, it was like the 144. Nope, Jesus. Yeah, it was 144. We rejected pretty much off the 144. And we were fine. We were getting price action was getting squeezed between the 9 length and the 144 length. So is what all these variance log MAs are telling me right now. Every one of them, returns are still below the mean, but variance is still coming down, right? Even the lower length has not changed pink again. If you see this 9 on the daily turn pink, that's telling you the log returns are below the mean and variance is rising again, right? Just like the variance is rising right now. But could this go positively correlated after today? Are we going to get a bounce out of here? Don't know. And you can look at the deviation log pro. Hell, we were just starting to come out of all this bull div, right? And we started getting up above with some outliers on the DLP, and then boop, next day, bam, now we're back down to the downside big time. Now, if you go all the way back to that big dump candle, there is bull div off today's candle, right? It's a lower low, right? From way back here, man, way back here. It's going to take a lot though to get out of this hole. Some of these Bitcoin bulls are going to have to come in, start buying. And at this point, I mean, this is kind of ridiculous, man. A lot of uncertainty in this market. A lot. You know, you get a new all-time high yesterday on SPY. While SPY's running to the all-time high, Bitcoin's dumping. And they were correlated. And I'm a heavy believer in that correlation. So that surprised me, right? Nothing Bitcoin ever does shock me. It never shocks me, but it continually surprises me. There's no doubt about that. So typical Bitcoin. Here we are. We're back at 47.5. I mean, you kidding me? Just trying to crawl out of that hole. I mean, literally coming out of a bunch of bear div on the Z-score, bear div on the returns oscillator, right? And one thing on the daily returns oscillator, we're outside this second standard deviation band. Correlation's flashing. But right now on this daily candle, right, you can see that there's a blue column back here. Correlation strong with that move. But this is getting strong. And what's it setting up right now? We're setting up some hidden bull div. It's just setting up. Nothing's in place yet. We had these fissures, right? On this move back to the top side, this fissure indicator is very powerful. It hit a third standard deviation here. Both of them. Real close. About 2.5 on the higher length. But the lower length definitely hit the 3 SD. Getting in, man. We're seeing it. We are seeing it. And look at the Shannon entropy on the daily. We're just starting to build a candle right now, and it's negatively correlated. So how's this going to play out? One thing I am seeing, the Z-score of historical volatility is heading up off the 90% confidence interval, positively correlated. What's going to happen? Is this thing going to pop out of here? Is the Z-score going to climb up above this zero threshold here, right? The mean? Are we going to get back across here? Is this going to stay positively correlated? Look at the low length AVR right here. Expansion, negatively correlated. All the APPs are coming down. Let me see. It's a 90-minute. These sellers exhausted on the 90. Let's take a look, see if these APPs are buried. Two of them are real buried. Real buried. I got one still right there. Wow, you probably have to drop all the way to I would think, maybe a 45 in an hour. Not even. Not even. I mean, you've got two of the lengths that are definitely exhausted, but yeah, the 400 length's still just floating. Now, I'm not saying this has to get buried, but look what happens when all three of them get buried, right? We were right at the top when they all peaked out. Buyer exhaustion, big time. That's right when we all three of them flashed. Right? Boom, boom, boom. Flash, flash, flash. Down we go. So yeah, man. Alpha trading indicators are all telling us a little something, right? And here on the hourly, right, we had an outlier to the downside. The variance comes back down, positively correlated, continues to move. This whole move, it started out variance outlier, negatively correlated, positively correlated, continue walking down. See, just the same thing. We had a little relief here, negatively correlated variance coming down, had a little positive correlation, but you can see, boom, another outlier right here where you can see at the end we had this bit of a bullish wick on the bottom of this candle. It did go positively correlated, but then flipped right back around, positively correlated. And with the variance coming down, price action just continued on this hourly. Interesting Bitcoin. Goodness gracious. Let me go over here to the RUPM that we're going to have published real soon. So literally almost hit the first standard deviation. What is that? 46,840 area. 46,860. 46,860. And also on the daily, where did we reject from? The reverse wave trend on the daily. Total rejection, right? And look where look where yesterday, the previous day's daily candle went up, got the rejection, closed back down inside this 54. Yep, 54 length variance log MA. So wow. Then opened up today and just dumped from it. Just dumped from it, man. 2-day. Holy smoke, look where we're at right now. Barely holding on to the 9 length variance log MA. Literally, it's at 47,544. Trying to stay above it for the close today. You definitely don't want to close below this 9 length on this 2-day. That's for damn sure. And you can see here recently, right? The reverse wave trend crossed down the reverse fissure 6 days ago on our way up. But then we had this nice pump, right? Coming in to this new 2-day candle. Almost got to the reverse wave trend. Dump out. Crazy. Crazy. Stream chat here. Okay. 3-day. I mean, you can see these high time frames. We're talking daily, 2-day, 3-day. Man, we are rejecting off of this reverse wave trend. But you can see the reverse wave trend on this 3-day candle we are having right now. It's a date today, man. I don't even know. Jesus. But tomorrow, this 3-day candle closes. This 3-day rejected. First, we rejected right off of the wave trend and fissure right here. Boop. Created this little doji, right? Where it got this nice up move. Then we have a doji, indecision, right? And the volatility. What happened with the volatility? Expansion negatively correlated. Down we go. First, it tried to pump up above the fissure. Rejected just off the top side of it. 51,875, right? If you remember, that high of that day was literally like 51,950 or something like that, I think. And then whoop, and down we go. See on the 5-day what's happening here. Yeah, right now you can see. There's the wave trend. So on the 5-day, we have dropped back below the reverse wave trend. I mean, we literally worked hard to get up above. We really did worked hard to get up above the mean of the deviation bands and the 9 length variance log MA. Well, that's not the 9. Sorry, that is actually the 33. Oof. Okay. Where are we on the weekly here? That is just brutal. That really is. Just from reading pure price action, that is brutal. When you get a bullish engulfing candle on a weekly, we're talking major continuation. This could be one of the grandest fake outs Bitcoin's had in a while, in my opinion. Let's see how this plays out, because this baby is literally, that is the 54. It was trying to hang on to this 54 variance log MA. It is below it right now. It's at 47,655. Do we get a new? Oh, that's a weekly, Jesus. Okay, so by the end of this week, we're definitely going to, it'd be nice to be back up above the mean of these deviation bands, right? That's back up there above like 50K. Some work to do, right? But we did all this in a day. We all know Bitcoin can do these things. So it's a no-brainer. But what's going to happen here? And that's what we're all wondering. What is going to happen with Bitcoin? Got the 9 length turning back down. That would be a good place, at least for this weekly chart. Go up there and test that at least, and that's at that 59K level almost. Yeah, monthly's not going to show much. We're definitely below the deviation band mean. All right. Back to the daily. Yeah. Daily, 2-day, 3-day, rejecting off of that reverse wave trend. Bitcoin's got some work to do, man. There was a lot of bull div on this, like daily, 2-day, 3-day. We talked about it. 5-day. There was bullish divergence between returns and price action, Z score and price action. A lot of bull div. I mean, is that all we're going to get out of it? Could possibly. Could possibly be. Tell you what, we're about to find out. Because if they run this thing down for some lower lows here, man, that is ugly. That is super ugly. It's already happening on the 4-hour, right? It's already happening on the 4-hour. So, oof. Let's see here. I mean, to come off of all these lower lows and lower highs, and then to get some higher lows and higher highs, right? And then boom, bam, and just the floor drops out of the bottom of this thing. Very interesting. Oh, Bitcoin, man, what a work of art this thing is. You just never know with Bitcoin. It's insanity. It's insanity. Time is at 2:30. Fine. Yep. All right. That's about enough of Bitcoin. It is what it is, man. This thing's struggling. Struggle bus. Struggle busso. But just don't forget, I mean, we have this daily range up here not tested. Right? Have this daily range. But hell, we got one up at like I think 54. Never got tested. It's holding on to this 99.7. If I remember correctly, let me measure this real quick. Yeah, actually, let's do it right here from this rejection off the center. No, yeah, it's a bullish hammer on the 15, or bearish hammer. We can do that. 41. Let's check it out. See what this baby looks like. Yeah, I mean, boom. That wick went right to the 99.7 Laplace. Almost got it right here. All right. So it's trying to stay in this 99.7 range. You can see right here the 95.4 from this projection and the 95.4 on the daily. Boy, they're right together. I mean, these bulls need to get their head out of their ass and close up in here. Close up above 48. This thing can close above 48. There might be a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, but this is ugly right now. I mean, ugly. There was some bull div printing on the 4-hour, like we already talked about. What's happening down here on the low time frames? 15-minute. We got a bunch of bull div on Z score on the 15-minute, at least from this level, right? That was the beginning of the drop back here, and then we went sideways, and then had some more dumpage. But returns oscillator too. All right, returns oscillator. Here's the low right here. These are all higher lows. I mean, there's definitely bull div building, Z score, returns oscillator, deviation log pro, bull div on everything. And you can definitely see, we go down here on the 15-minute. This is what seller exhaustion looks like. These APPs, this price percentile is just buried. Everything is just buried. Let's see, anything else? If anything's sticking out to me. And when Bitcoin gets like this, the best thing you can do, just scalp these low time frames, using variance and outliers, man. You cannot go wrong. Can't go wrong. Even if we're talking about a $500 move, it's a Bitcoin. This thing can move $1,000 in a 15-minute candle, easy. You just in out, in out, in out, in out. Don't let this thing take you, because it will. Everybody knows what Bitcoin does, man. Number one is what Bitcoin will do. It'll take a trader who thinks he knows what he's doing, and it will literally ruin your confidence. It'll put you in a world of hurt real fast if you are not taking profits. As little as those profits are, it doesn't matter. Profit's profit. But if you're not careful, this thing will just put you in the hurt locker. We do. Let's see here. Yeah, it's not on the Fisher though. It's trying to build a little bit right now, a little bit of bull div on the Fisher. Let's see on this 45-minute. Go up here and right, because my intraday usually trading. I mean, I'll take a peek at the 4-hour, but 90-minute, 45, 15, and 5-minute. Yeah, there's definitely some there's bull div on everything on the 45. Yeah, deviation log pro, Fisher, returns oscillator, Z score. It's all over the place, man. All over the Z place. But we're contracting, positively correlated. And the volatility is really going to tell you everything. Until this thing flips around and you're contracting negatively correlated and expanding positively correlated, you're not going to see it turn around, right? You're not going to see it turn around. I mean, the 45 is damn sure trying the variance. Got the remainder of this 45-minute, and then one more 45-minute candle going into the end of the day. The variance is heading up, positively correlated right now. We do have this bull div. I mean, I'm going to try to make a run and close above 48. These bears are relentless right now, man. Just sell, 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 sell. We don't want our Bitcoin. But yeah, like I said earlier, I'm surprised. I'm surprised at this pullback. Not shocked. Bitcoin, yeah, if you let Bitcoin shock you, that's what you're gonna need. You're gonna need some electric shock treatment at the nut house, because it will drive you insane. It'll drive you insane. But we've got 3 out of the 5 variance log MAs right here. They're still log returns below the mean, variance is rising. But then you've got the 33 and the 9. The variance is coming back down. Still below the mean, but is coming back down. Higher lengths, though, still saying this baby's still running, man. Still running to the downside. Oh, Bitcoin. You can see right here, right? Even on the 45, The returns oscillator printed hidden bear. So what do? We go back down. That's why we use a divergence between returns and price action. And I mean, it was just setting up here too. All right, the whole time. All right, higher highs on the return oscillator, lower lows on price action, just to continue this next leg down, right down. Set up a bunch of hidden bear on the 45, went sideways for a while, dumped out the next leg. One more peek at the 90. It's definitely bull div on Z-score, on returns oscillator. And like I said, the DLP, there's a little bit, the bull div is starting to build, right? Starting to build, but this is what you want to see, right? You want to see this thing sloping back up to the top side. We got some lower lows on price action. All right. Let me go to I want to see what SPY did today. Let's see. Jump on up there, SPY. Yeah, just right. What did SPY do? Literally range today. Where did it range? In the daily range. Right. Tested the top side, almost got to the top side. Boring day for SPY after this last, like, what, 5 days, right? Straight up, new all-time highs at what, what was it at, 477, 478? Powerful move. Now it's ranging. So now that I see that, not only and you look at this daily range was planted dead in the middle of the 68.3 Laplace distribution range. And that is the R1 of the weekly. R1 of the weekly. If you see SPY close, if you see SPY charge up here and make a new all-time high, it's probably going to run again. So what am I going to be looking for right now? Now I want to go over to the main trading chart. Pick this on SPY. 90-minute, no. Let's see what's going on this 4-hour chart. Yeah. From this point right here, we are building some hidden bull divergence between returns and price action. That Fisher's pretty high. And also it was setting up some bear div on the DLP. So tomorrow could be a little down. Let's see what's going on this daily. Okay, no bear div on the daily. I mean, if you're looking way back here at this high, there's a little bit, but I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this top right here. I'm looking at this top, and there is no bear div, and the variance is coming down negatively correlated. Right. If that continues to come down negatively correlated on the daily SPY chart, you're going to see this thing either go sideways or it's going to walk up a little bit. And then that variance turns up on the daily and gets positively correlated. You're going to see an explosion on SPY. Right. And I said this, I think I thought there was a possibility by the end of this year. Right. But what do we got? A few days left in this week. So that's about it. That SPY was maybe going to breach that $500 range. I don't know. I don't know at this point. Let me see something real quick. Oh, what were the new weekly levels of SPY? Wow, it almost hit the 1 SD already. All right, turn this off. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I said that without looking at the new week's levels. That would have to be like a 99.7 Laplace. Even the third standard deviation is about a 495. I mean, I'm not saying SPY can't do it. More likely, if SPY continues this move to the upside till the end of the year, you're probably going to see about a 487, right? Maybe another $10 move on SPY to the top side. Or this baby's going to pull back, maybe retrace that whole move, come back down to the 68.3 to the downside at 470. Both highly probable, to be honest. Both highly probable. something here. See a little intraday coming in tomorrow. Does this look like, yeah, this variance is really low. It's positively correlated. Fissures are crossing up down here, right, or probably right in between the first and second standard deviation band. But you can see if you look at this DLP, and this is the 45-minute chart, right? I mean, lower lows, lows. We could now this is looking more likely, like especially when you've got this 33 length log MA right at 470 area I was just talking about. We could see a pullback. Maybe SPY ends up by the end of the year back down around 470. I'm telling you though, it's either gonna if this thing is either coming back down to 470 or it's gonna make that move up to the 95.4 Laplace at about 485, 486 area. How do you like that? Everybody looking for signals? Just as in life, everything is probabilities, man. That's all you can do. I mean, and I try to tell people, do some counseling and stuff. And that's what I try to tell my guys is they're all veterans too, man. Some of the shit these guys have been through make your fucking your blood curl. So they're dealing with a lot of shit. But that's what I tell them, man. Everything in life is probabilities, man. You know? So when you're thinking about that, it's all in your mindset. When you wake up in the morning, is this going to be a positive day or a negative day? They're both probabilities. It's how you're going to interact with the world, man. It's going to determine your life's path. So heart goes out to all of them. I know a couple of the guys listen. They like to hear me talk. I don't know why. Crazy hillbilly. Let's see here. All right. You know what? I see Donnie in here. I know he's listening. Let's check Dot out first. Let me go over and let's see what Dot's doing. Where are you? There you are down here. I got to get my D's together, baby. Need to, I mean, and I was having a DM with somebody and they were like, damn, Bitcoin, oh, these alts need to decouple, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it's not going to happen. You're not going to see anything decouple from Bitcoin until you get a market cap. A lot of people say 10 trillion. I don't even think it's going to happen then. Bitcoin's just too dominant, man. When you've got a Bitcoin dominance up around 40% of the market, it's just not going to happen. Obviously, you're going to have your outliers. You always do. But as a whole, everything's going to follow Bitcoin. Everything. Now, I would imagine, I think 10 trillion is going to be a pretty big market cap, right? That's just under what's gold? 10, 12? 12 trillion, something like that. Put it that way. If Bitcoin can topple gold's market cap at 10 to 12 trillion, I don't even know what it is, to be honest. I know it's right up there somewhere. You're going to probably, you might see some stuff decouple from Bitcoin. Yeah, Matic. Yeah, Downey. Yeah, 100%. Matt, I'll tell you what, if Bitcoin resumes and makes a move to the top side, this is when now they're going to be great gains and some outliers like down there around the 100 rank, stuff like that on CoinMarketCap. Sure, there are. But I'm talking about, and I hate even saying it, but because I think Ethereum's a gas scam shitcoin, but we're talking Ethereum, Polkadot, Cardano, Solana, Matic, right? Things like Luna. These things are going to freaking absolutely explode with Bitcoin. Explode. So on the daily today, same thing. Most things did not test this daily range. This is why also I'm like, if some of these things would at least made an attempt to test it, right? Made an attempt, I'd be like, hey, we could get some continuation going into this new day. Nothing did though. I've looked at some other charts. Everything just dumps straight away. Didn't even say, hey, we're going to come up and test. And all it had to do is come up and test the 68.3, especially on DOT. Think of Bitcoin too. They were right at the daily range, not having it. They were like, no, thank you. We're not going to do this today. So we have an untested range way up ahead. But yeah, Bitcoin had the biggest drop, right? Almost did a 2SD move. Dots was down here at about 25.6. Yeah, you can see, and this is good. Sometimes you can get a good read off what the alts do, especially the blue chip alts, polka dot being one of them. Bounced really nice right on the bottom of the weekly range, right? Bounced real nice. That's what we wanted to see on Bitcoin. I wanted to see Bitcoin bounce up here on the top of the weekly range, right? And take off and resume. Wasn't having it. Those bears really pushed hard, which is telling me, especially when I see that divergence on the 4 hour, that there's a little bit of exhaustion going on, and we could get a reversal on these low time frames, get this thing going back up the upside. Uh, and what a fake out too, man. What a fake out. It almost literally does a candle backfill after printing a bullish engulfing on the weekly and then almost backfilling it on the first freaking day. You shitting me? Powerful action. Bitcoin. Whoa. We'll see what happens here, man. Or second day, my bad. 2 days into the week. Holy crap. Powerful moves. Yeah, dot actually held up pretty well and bounced off the bottom of that weekly range. That's strong. Let's see what the weeklies here for dot. Oh, come on now. Yeah. Dot almost hit the 68.3 to the top side. Like I said on the weekly, where Bitcoin came down and tested the 1SD, Dots was right at the 2SD on the daily. The 1SD on the weekly, same area. Right? Well, the weekly was about 26.8. So 1SD for Dot on the weekly, which, I mean, I'm leaning to this thing turning around. I mean, look at Dot's bullish engulfing, right? Usually, when you have a bullish engulfing on the weekly like that, and the only reason I talk about these candles is because I know what actually creates them. This isn't going, hey, this candle, it's a bullish engulfing. That means, no. What's that telling me? That there was a change in the volatility, right? The volatility is telling me this is going to be a high time frame reversal. So this, in my opinion, is a fake out, man. You know, the more I look at these other coins and stuff, this is a great fake out to get people out of their positions. It would be a typical Bitcoin move, right? And it looks very similar to Dot. Dot was even had a better looking bullish engulfing. So yeah, cool. So yeah, that one SD 36.9 on Dot. Dot's sitting at 28 right now. Be a good move to the end, coming into the end of this week. Now it's yes, it's Donnie Mansion. Mansioned? The fuck? See, I'm not talking politics right now. I like that guy though. Let's see. Should I go to perps? Yeah. Let's check out perps. Okay. Now, this is a weekly chart. This is Maddox's weekly chart. I mean, it makes Bitcoin look like a shit coin, man. Bitcoin did nothing but go down and have, I mean, holy crap, lower lows, man. The only thing Maddox done, higher highs and lower highs, man. This thing's on a mission. I am telling you right now. If you see Bitcoin make a run up to its 1SD, you could probably see Matic be up at about almost $4. That would not shock me at all. It wouldn't shock me at all to see Matic run like a cat with gas on its ass, man. Right to the 95.4 on the weekly, about 390. So this could be a great pullback and entry on Matic, not financial guys. $2.50 Matic. And this, a chart like this, makes me really look at what's happening in Bitcoin and just going, man, I mean, this is more and more looks like a fake out. But more and more, it's like, what's going on in Matic land? Powerful. You know, a lot of people call this a shit coin. It's a blue chip stock, man. This thing is powerful. Holy crap. I mean, look at this week chart, man. Holy crap, holy. Look at this down here. Matic was it? Oh, really? When was this? At the beginning of the year. Say this weekly pullback right here to almost the third standard deviation. If you were to get in right there, Matic was at 1.5 cents. I'll say that again. At the beginning of January, or at the beginning of 2021, in January, This thing, oh, wait a minute. No, there's January. Sorry. The beginning of the year, 0.018. Matic sitting at $2.50 right now. Do the math, man. Do the math. And look at this weekly chart. What is, if you know how to read price action, oof, oof. Let me see something real quick. Holy crap. You could see some really high Matic prices. Bitcoin turns this thing around because obviously Bitcoin is stopping Matic from having this massive explosion. But Matic literally has one of the best looking charts. I'm sure Luna looks really similar. Let's see Luna. Now, look at Luna's weekly, right? Looks a lot like Bitcoin. Then you pop over on Matic. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if this is the only weekly chart that looks like this. Matic is an outlier, ladies and gentlemen. Holy shit. Matic's weekly looks dynamite. Dynamite. Press say. But we're gonna I don't even have to look at the volatility chart on Matic. This thing is powerful. This thing's super powerful. And tomorrow we'll get more in depth. I'll spend a little more time on Matic. We pop this on right at the end of the stream. So that being said, if you are watching this on YouTube for the first time, we are Alpha Trading. We trade volatility, probability, and statistics, and we would love to teach you to do the same. The link to our Discord is in the description of all our videos. Come check us out. Open up a support ticket. Tell us what's on your mind. You're going to come into the waiting room. There's a public chat. Feel free to speak, right? Don't just sit there like a bump on the log, though. If you found us, there's a reason. This is a small market of traders. The things that we do, not a lot of people trade the way we do, which blows our mind because the way we trade is the same way these high frequency trading firms program their algorithms. Those algorithms create 80 to 90% of the trading going on in the cryptocurrency market, in any markets out there in general. And this is what they program their algos with. Why the hell would you not want to be on the right side of every trade and trade with these guys? That's my question to you. But that being said, wherever you live at in this beautiful metaverse, right? Have a wonderful rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening. I'll see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.